What if Harry Potter was never meant to be the hero? What if the weight of his losses, the betrayals, and the constant manipulation by those who claimed to care about him led him down a darker path? From the moment he stepped into the wizarding world, Harry was never given a choice. He was the boy who lived, the chosen one, the destined savior. But what if instead of embracing that role, he rejected it? What if, after years of suffering, he realized that power was the only way to ensure no one could ever control him again? The seeds of darkness were always there. It began with small moments, choices that seemed insignificant, but slowly chipped away at the boy who once believed in hope. Harry's childhood was filled with neglect, cruelty, and loneliness. The Dursleys made sure he knew he was worthless. He was conditioned to believe he had no control over his own life. Then came Hogwarts, his escape, his salvation. Or so he thought. But Hogwarts wasn't a place of unconditional love. He was treated like a pawn. Every year he was thrown into danger, used by adults who never truly cared for him as a person, only as a tool against Voldemort. Dumbledore withheld information. Snape tormented him. The Ministry vilified him. Even his so-called friends doubted him when it mattered most. The first time he felt true power was during his third year. The Dementors surrounded him, their icy breath suffocating the world around him. Fear gripped his heart. But then he cast the Patronus. Not just any Patronus, a massive, powerful stag that wiped out an entire horde of Dementors. He had never felt such raw magic surge through him. He realized then, power could save him. Power could protect those he cared about. Power meant control. Year after year, Harry suffered loss after loss. Cedric, Sirius, Dumbledore. Each death chipped away at his faith in the right way of doing things. He followed the rules and still, the people he loved died. In his sixth year, everything changed. Draco Malfoy was a coward, a Death Eater in training, but nothing more than a scared boy playing with forces beyond his control. And yet, when Malfoy threatened him, something inside Harry snapped. Sectum Sempra. Blood everywhere. The look of horror in Malfoy's eyes. The fear. The pain. And for the first time, Harry felt something he had never allowed himself to feel before. Satisfaction. No one could hurt him if he was the strongest. Snape healed Malfoy, but the damage was done. Harry had learned an important lesson. Magic wasn't just for protection, it was for domination. That night, he stole into the restricted section of the library. He read about magic long forbidden, spells whispered only in the dark corners of wizarding history. Legilimency, dark curses, blood magic. Magic that gave its wielder true control. And he never stopped. The war came. Hogwarts fell. As Harry stood face to face with Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest, he realized something shocking. He and Voldemort were the same. They were both orphans, shaped by tragedy, both betrayed by those they trusted, both desperate to shape their own destinies. And as Voldemort cast Avada Kedavra, something inside Harry awakened. He didn't die. He couldn't die. The Horcrux inside him was destroyed, but he remained. And for the first time, he didn't see Voldemort as an enemy. He saw him as a failure. "You could have ruled the world," Harry whispered, standing over Voldemort's broken body, "but you let your obsession with blood make you weak." And then, for the first time in his life, Harry cast Avada Kedavra, not in defense, not in battle, but because he chose to. Voldemort died. The wizarding world celebrated, but they didn't realize they had just exchanged one Dark Lord for another. The rise of the new Dark Lord. In the following months, Harry was hailed as a hero. The Ministry bent to his will, desperate for his leadership. He had seen their corruption firsthand. They needed someone strong, someone decisive. He eliminated his enemies swiftly. The surviving Death Eaters were executed, not imprisoned, not given second chances, but wiped from existence. He reformed Hogwarts, no longer a place of useless house rivalries, but a true academy of magic. Dark arts were no longer forbidden, they were mandatory. He believed in strength, and strength required understanding all magic, not just the acceptable kind. Ron and Hermione tried to stop him. They pleaded with him, begged him to see reason, but Harry saw their weakness. They wanted a world where people were free, but freedom led to chaos. He wanted a world of order, a world where no child suffered as he did. "You're sounding just like him, mate," Ron had said one night in the abandoned Gryffindor common room. Harry only smiled. "No, Ron, I'm better." And when Ron and Hermione refused to join him, he let them go. But he knew they would come for him one day. And when they did, when the so-called Order of the Phoenix tried to stop him, he crushed them. Hermione, his once dearest friend, stood before him in the ruins of Hogsmeade, her wand shaking. "Harry, please," she whispered. "This isn't you." But it was. It had always been. With a single flick of his wand, her body hit the ground. Ron's screams echoed through the burning streets, but Harry felt nothing. The boy who lived had died long ago. All that remained was the Dark Lord, and the wizarding world would never be the same again. What do you think? Would Harry have been a better Dark Lord than Voldemort? Or would he have been even worse? Let me know your thoughts. If you like the video and don't want to miss the next one, subscribe. I will be very grateful.